This is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
And I'm JP.
And our other intro was so much better, but I guess it is what it is at this point. So, all right, JP, I'm just going to start off by asking, have you ever worn a kilt?
No, I've never had to wear a kilt. I've never worn it.
Not have to. Have you chosen to?
No, I haven't.
Have you ever worn a skirt of any kind?
A skirt of any kind?
Uh-huh.
Not that I remember. No.
No?
I'm trying to remember if there's like a play or anything I was in where I had to wear one. No.
No? Are you sure?
I'm pretty positive I haven't.
Okay.
Have you run into any situations where you're wearing kilts or skirts?
Yes.
Highland Games?
No.
Or what? Oh, okay.
No, it's much less glamorous than that. I was one of Snoop's groupies in a skit night for homecoming, and I borrowed
Snoop's groupies.
Yeah, they call them different words.
Okay,
But,
is this actual Snoop Dogg?
No. It was a skit, so there was a guy that played Snoop.
Oh, got
and
it.
I was one of the
Ladies of the street.
ladies of the street crawling around on the stage in a mini skirt.
Oh boy.
It was it was impressive. I actually had a couple girls say that I had really nice legs. So, yeah, there is a video out there. It is still on YouTube of me crawling around on a stage. This is 20 years ago, too. I mean, this was like when YouTube almost didn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out there. You can still find it.
When it was still like, YouTube, like a long time ago, it was really weird because there wasn't channels.
No.
Like there are now. You know, it's just like people just upload stuff.
Posted stuff. It was the Wild West. It was awesome.
It was.
And it was really, really fun. But yeah, so it was homecoming, and believe it or not, I was the resident director at the time too.
Yeah.
So I was actually a professional staff member. But they needed somebody to fill in.
Yeah.
So I said, absolutely put me in a skirt. And I borrowed a skirt. I don't remember who it was from.
Okay.
From one of the ladies. I think it was the young lady I was dating. Might have been Sandy. No, I don't think it was Sandy's.
Sandy
Anyways.
wears skirts?
No. I've never seen her wear a dress, I don't think. No, our wedding day, she wore a dress.
Okay. The one day ever.
Yeah, so then we had this whole routine of us like doing sexy dancing and
Was it to like a song, like one
Yeah,
of
it was-
the songs?
I don't
and everything?
remember
Like you
what
tried to
song
like
it was.
recreate a video or something like that?
basically.
Okay.
So it was lip syncing.
Yeah.
Was one of the things in homecoming, and that was part of it. And we were the background dancers.
Got it.
It was fun. And as a matter of fact, I think the lead singer was a young lady that dressed up like Snoop. So I can't remember exactly how it went, but it was fun. I'm sure what we did and how we dressed probably wouldn't be appropriate in today's time.
Probably not.
It's not that long ago, though.
No, it's
I'm
really
not that old. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was fun. But rest assured, now you can wear a dress if you want while you're playing in a PGA sanctioned event. Did you know about that? Yeah. They have broadened the dress code, so we can wear dresses now.
Okay.
And with that said, at Ledgestone, there was a gentleman that wore tennis skirts. I didn't have the gumption to really have a good conversation with him.
Okay.
But I was like, "What's up, man?" He's like, "I just like it."
Yeah.
And that was it. That was all he said to me.
Okay.
And I was
Interesting.
like, okay. I seemed to be completely like, here's
Easy
a bunch of
breezy.
assumptions. Like, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it seemed to be like heterosexual, all that. Like, there was no alternative lifestyle or however you would appropriately say that. And
Maybe
he
it's
just
like-
wore a tennis skirt.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, is it like maybe like a skort situation where it's like athletic shorts, like, and then like the skirt, and like it's not as constricting?
Very well could be, but I didn't ask him to lift it. So
Well, that's yeah.
I felt like that might have been crossing the boundaries
sure.
a little bit, but
Kristen Tatar style, like the pleated tennis skirt. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really could have been. Like, I didn't watch him play. We were at check-in is where I saw him.
Okay.
So that's all. We were there, and we didn't get anything, but we were trying a little fly mark that was there.
Yeah.
And I saw him there, and I was like, good for you, man. Like, he looked good in it. He was rocking it. Like, good for him. So, Door? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I would consider a kilt maybe for playing in.
Oh, I've seen a lot of guys wear kilts.
Yeah.
Nick. And I'm just like, people that can pull off kilts, good for you too. Like,
Right.
Maybe at one point in my life, I had the ability to do it, but now, no. Like with my patchy hair legs, leg hair, there you go. Like, it just wouldn't be great.
For sure.
Or I could go back to like when I was in athletics, like being taped up all the time. I just shaved my legs and arms because it would hurt so bad to remove tape and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and pre-wrap was awesome, but the athletic trainer sucked at putting it where it needed to be and always missed the pre-wrap. So,
Yep, I know that feeling too.
I would always give him heck about it. Like, all right, so I'm a chair, am I losing this time? But I finally got to a point where I just shaved my legs. Like, actually, I nared them.
Ooh.
Actually, it wasn't bad. My legs. I did it on my chest.
Yeah.
Don't nair your chest.
Okay.
That was horrible.
I won't.
And it was just for funsies, all guys sitting around in a dorm room. Hey, let's put this wherever you want to put it. And I put it on my chest, and oh boy, it was bad. It was really bad.
Chemical burns.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's it. I just figured I'd let you know that you can now wear a skirt when competing in the PDGA.
Awesome.
I'm glad that they clarified that.
Me too.
I'm
So many questions about it before.
I'm just like, I'm going to steal the words, but I'm very glad that they solved that issue. Out of all the things that the PDGA could work on and solve, I'm super happy they did that. That was a bit of sarcasm, but I'm glad I can wear a skirt now. So door _ disc _ golf is our Instagram, and also night_owl_pod. And then doordisc.com. So keep an eye on that website because we have 2,300 discs. I'll give you the story in the background in the main part of the podcast here. But yeah, 2,300 discs plus.
New discs.
Brand new.
Yeah.
Like, well, they're brand new.
New to you. Yeah.
New to me.
To the story.
New to us. So, yeah. So what'd you buy? Thrower, hanger, flipper?
I got my mystery boxes Monday.
And when you say boxes, Discmania ones?
Yeah, Discmania ones.
Okay. You bought two of them?
I bought two.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I had a gift card for like my birthday, so I was like, well, I'll get this much off at the time. Still haven't gotten an email about what the
compensation is.
What?
Compensation for paying too much?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So we'll see. Or maybe I heard something about there being some prototype FD3s like floating around out there that might have tried to. They never got released.
Okay.
I'm like, maybe people will get one.
Because they did. They just straight up dropped the C-Line FD3s.
Yeah.
Like right away.
Right. And so I don't know what the situation was. Or they were trying to get them into the boxes, maybe two, and didn't do it that way. Besides that, I bought 2 Lone Haul 3s today. Because they just dropped.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit bummed because the previous 2, Lone Haul 1 and Lone Haul 2, were S-Line. Yeah. But they also dropped the Nicholas Antilla had the Nordic Phenoms.
Yep.
And so that's already the special S blend. So Colton went with the Metal Flake C-Line.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
C-Line PD.
PD, yeah.
I love C-Line Metal Flake. Well, just anything Metal Flake. It's like, I love it. But man, I feel like that's going to be beefy.
Right. And like I have a couple of European Open
FD3s.
Metal Flake, FD3s, and those are really beefy too. So those will be probably pretty similar. I think someone put out a review and said that maybe these are a little flippier than you would expect. So
that's good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because Lat 64, and I compare them because they're molded in the same factory.
Yeah.
So Latitude 64 is hit or miss. So I have some trespasses.
That's really crazy though, because they used to be so consistent.
They are, and I think they're still consistent. But there was one run of blue Metal Flake trespasses.
Oh, okay.
That were super flippy. Like I've played with this for a year, flippy.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful because
you
you
could
just
box.
pick it up out of the box.
Wow.
Just picked it up and threw it. Actually, the springtime stamps that we had
Oh,
The blue ones were just super flippy. I went back and like picked up a red one, straight up a trespass.
Okay. I don't think I got a trespass. I got a verdict or something last time. So
yeah. So that's it. And then you're planning on throwing hanging foot. Well, obviously, I'm assuming one is going to be a hanger.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
And one's probably going to be a thrower. I got white because I think I'm going to try to get them dyed.
Okay.
So I think
you could pick the color.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
White,
okay.
they had blue, orange, like the green, like neon yellow, greenish color. Yeah, there's quite a few colors available. Black looked pretty cool.
Oh, I bet you that would look cool.
Yeah, depending on stamp color.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's awesome. So the only thing that I picked up two things. One was the World Champ, the new release of the Kristen Sitar Graces.
Oh, nice.
I picked up one of those. It was a pink. I think I picked up a pink one. Used it at Idlewild.
Nice.
Awesome. And then I also picked up a Supra.
Ooh, yeah.
So that's Finish Line. That's Drew Gibson's new mid-range.
I almost bought one of those today. I was debating whether I wanted one of those or the Lone Hulls. And I was like, well, I'm just going to complete the trilogy of Lone Hulls. So that was my
thinking. I'll get into it a little more, but I like it. Yeah. I like it. It's a good enough disc that it makes me think about what's in my bag.
Okay.
So let's say that. It's not a Buzz. It's not a EMAC. It's not anything you've ever seen him throw. It's different in all those ways. I should have brought it up so you could see it. It is Mutinous-esque shape-wise, like the real angular shape.
Really?
Yeah. The top kind of comes up and just flattens off.
Okay.
But comfortable. But I'll get into it a little bit later. But yeah, so I bought that in its thrower. I mean, I threw it right away, and that Kristen Sitar Grace is a thrower. So threw both of those, and I haven't thrown anything faster than a mid-range for 2 months, 3 months. Well, I guess I threw that as Supreme Escape a little bit.
Okay.
But I haven't thrown anything for quite a while that's anything over like a 5 or a 6 speed. And I got a hold of those Graces. So I have my pink first run, and I have that pink Halo, Orbit one. And I was like, good lines, putting on good angles, no off-axis torque, and they were rolling over on me. And I was like, this is great. Like, this is good. Like, I got some power back.
Yeah.
And while I was down there, I mean, it was actually the gentleman I was playing with, Kelly, and Ben. Like, Kelly looked over and he was like, you throw so far. I was like, it was like this little mental victory for me. Yes, I'm kind of back, And I still wasn't throwing as far as I could.
Yeah.
But I was on my game.
Well,
like, cool. It was good. Like, obviously there was bad shots. I hit some trees, things like that, and I didn't play as well as I could. But the parts that I've been trying to work on were dead on.
That's awesome.
Which was great. So, all right. So I'll give you a little preview. Talk about my trip to Ohio and why. We'll talk about the Clash boxes. We'll talk about mystery boxes in general, but we'll talk about the Clash box. We'll talk about the Supra and is it the mid-range? The Nikko tracker is back, folks. We'll get into that. We'll do some player speculation, talk about what we've seen, and then we have a random question and then some shop updates. So let's get into it. My trip to Ohio and why. So I went down to Cincinnati, Ohio with one of our team, and you probably heard his name, Ben Koralski. Actually, I think he's been on the podcast once.
Yep.
We went down to Cincinnati, Ohio. And the reason we went down to Cincinnati, Ohio, because there was an online retailer by the name of Nomadic Disc Golf. Used to be based out of Michigan. Things transpired. I don't want to get into the details because simply I don't know them well enough. And
it's not really your story to tell.
And it's not my story to tell. Yeah. So, and there's nothing bad about it. It's just, it is what it is. But nevertheless, he had basically a disc shop that he needed to get rid of. And he wanted to get rid of. Not needed, he wanted to get rid of. So somehow it got back to me, like a friend of a friend, one of those deals. So I reached out to him, or he reached out to me, however it worked out. And we ended up working out a reasonable price for me just coming down and filling up a van and going. So we head out on Saturday at about noon and drove 8.5 hours, with stops and all that stuff, straight down to Cincinnati. We didn't go anywhere else. We stopped about 20 minutes outside of Cincinnati, slept the night, got up in the morning to a text that said, hey, you want to play Idlewild? I was like, I didn't even realize we were that close to Idlewild. Like,
yeah,
this
it's really
great.
not that far.
It's like 20 minutes from where we were.
That's awesome.
So we went and he was like, what, do you want to sort out the discs before? And I was like, I don't even know what these discs look like. Like, I don't know. So let's just figure that out because that's what we're here for. I mean, Idlewild is secondary. So we went and in this like climate controlled storage unit, he had a 10 by 20 unit and it was packed with stuff. He opened the door and I was just like, oh. So I took one of our utility vans for work, one of our housekeeping vans, one of the ones we didn't have wrapped yet that we just bought.
Okay.
And I'm here like, and these are the smaller like City Express, so it's a NV 200, so it's the smaller cargo vans, like the smallest ones you can buy. And I'm like, it's not going to fit. Like, there's no chance it's all going to fit. So that's all I'm thinking in my mind. Then Kelly's like, who's the guy that owned Nomadic? He's like, is this all going to fit? And I go, well, we'll just take everything. We'll just leave the Prodigy that to last. I hate to say that, but so we started boxing up stuff. And let me tell you, like, there is stuff that was never even opened, like boxes of stuff. Like I told you, I mean, they have MVP stuff, like the Conrad, special edition Conrad NVs and Nomads, and like never opened them. Never ever opened them, like boxes of these things. Captain's Raptors. And I talked about those before because I knew we had those, but there was 106 of them. And that's, I mean, for us, a small shop, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot.
That's a lot of product.
Like Logics and Links, at least 50 of each of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we already had a lot of those because for a while that was basically all that was available from Discmania.
Yeah.
So we were just buying them because, we needed stuff to fill shelves. So I probably have 300 Logics and Links between them, So Boys and Girls Clubs and stuff like that, they'll start getting some Logics and Links. But yeah, so I mean, just some great stuff. Like PM line stuff, so Paul Macbeth line stuff. There is of each of his molds. We probably have, like I said, about 40 of each of his molds. And some of the nice ESP, and then also some of the like not so nice ESP that came out recently. Now they're back to being great ESP, but there was this really glossy run of ESP that didn't have a lot of figure in it.
Okay.
It's not great. So there's some of that stuff in there, and that's not the PM line. That's some of the other stuff, but we have a whole bunch of that stuff. We have some Big Z stuff, and we have 21 and 22 Tour Series stuff. So both of the Yuli Raptors, the Gannons, I mean, like on and on, like all of those things. Pierce line stuff, like we have all the Pierce line stuff. I mean, we have Lunas for day. I mean, Fierces for days. Like, so, and we have her Tour Series Fierces, the Metal Flake, the Z Metal Flake ones, or Sparkle, or whatever, Z Sparkle, that she let out like 2 years ago. They're money. Like, they have a little bit more stability than the normal. So they're great throwers. But it's just on and on and on. And then we had the Birdie Disc Golf games. There was 24 of those. Like, it was awesome. So getting back to packing up the van. So I have a 24 by 24 by 48 boxes. So it's enough, or excuse me, not by 48, 18 by 18 by 24. So 2 feet tall, 18 by 18.
Yeah.
And we start packing everything. So it's not too difficult to pack. Everything's getting in there, and we're putting dividers in, and we're just throwing stuff in boxes. Yeah. I'm not even looking at it as we're throwing in because there's so much stuff. And we take the first 2 cart loads out, and like the van's already half full. And we're like, God. Crap. Like, are we going to be able to get all this in? So we go back and we grab more, and we keep packing up, and we finally get everything to the van. Like, it's either in the van or sitting outside the van. And Ben proceeds to play like
Tetris,
the best game of Tetris ever, and gets everything in.
Yeah.
And then we go back and we're like, oh crap, we forgot a box. There was one box still sitting in there. Yeah. Plus there were some like shipping boxes and stuff like that he didn't need anymore. So we were going to take those. Somehow we got absolutely everything in there. And when I say like packed tight, I think on Instagram there's some pictures of, or I don't know if I posted the pictures yet, but there's some pictures of the van.
Yeah.
Like every door, you can't get another thing in there. It was like just enough to slide our disc golf bags into certain spots.
Sure.
Not another thing in there. Like from ceiling to floor,
wow.
Full. So, and these cargo vans are like 57 wide by like almost 7 feet deep by 52 inches tall. I mean, it's a lot of cargo room.
Right.
It's just, and it was full. Like we don't have seats or anything in it. It's just a cargo van, 2 seats up front, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it was just enough. I mean, like it was all the way up to our seats. I mean, it was a lot of discs. So we get it packed up, get it closed up. We can shut the doors. We're happy. So we're like, all right, well, let's go. I always want to visit the local shop. So that's where I bought those 2 discs.
Okay.
I always want to just support the local disc golf shops. And the disc golf shop we went into, I don't remember the name of it at all, but it's right near Idlewild. But great shop. I mean, but they had so many discs in there.
Oh, I can imagine.
Like discs were piled on top of like everything. I mean, like fan blade spinning, discs on top of the fan blades. You know, it wasn't that bad, but it was incredible how many discs they had in that shop. But they had some really cool stuff, like walking around. And then like there was a little pile that was under a pile that was next to a pile that was, you know, that I saw the Supra.
Okay.
I saw the Finish Line. I was like, oh, is that some air? No, it's Supras. I was like, great, bought the Supra. And then the Kristen Tatar was sitting on the front desk when I was checking out, so I just threw one on real quick. And then we went to Idlewild. Idlewild is an amazing course. I don't know if you've ever played it or get a chance to play it. You got to play it. It's beautiful because it's open, has some water, trees. Like it's very well designed. And we played the Pro Tour layout, so there's 24 holes. And then they have the Pro Tour layout, and you can still play it on UDisc, and that's what we ended up playing was a Pro Tour layout.
Cool.
So I was playing it. I didn't recognize a single hole.
Oh,
I was
really?
playing it. Yeah. It was the weirdest thing. Now I go back and watch Idlewild, and I know exactly what they're... It's weird how hard it looks when you play it. It wasn't that hard because real play, like I played true, you know, I took 1 mulligan.
Okay.
And I played true, and I played like 4 over. So it wasn't horrible.
No.
I could have played better. I had 1 birdie. I think I missed 2 birdies, but that was it. You know, I had quite a few bogeys.
Okay.
You know, but it was a good course. I really, really enjoyed it. So if anyone's out in that area and they're, you know, near Cincinnati, go play it. I mean, and it's just park golf. Like, there's no fees.
Is it pay to play? Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering.
No fees, no nothing. Yeah, just jump on the course and play.
That's cool.
So it's really good. And their short course, they have a short layout as well. It seemed really fun too. There's a lot of like ace run shots.
Yeah.
I was excited to play.
Huh.
So, but yeah, did that. Took us about 2.5 hours, and then we got back on the road. We were on the road by about 3 o'clock. Drove all the way through, got back here. It was about 11:30. I pulled into the driveway here. So
wow.
Yeah, it was busy. It was like 2 days there and back. That was it.
Okay.
So we got there, slept, got up, packed the van.
Went to Idlewild. In the shop, yeah.
Came straight back.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, so it was the largest mystery box of the season.
Yeah.
Like, incredible. So,
well, I know on Instagram, I was like, I think that the night before somebody's like, we're on a road trip. Give me some suggestions of like what we can listen to or like doing the van or whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't think we turned the radio on once.
Oh, really?
I mean, it was really great, like, good conversation just about life, just about, like, it was good. I've never had time to sit down and just learn about Ben and listen to Ben and for me to spout off my nonsense of things that I think I know, you know, that type of stuff. It was just really enjoyable just BSing. I mean, we got into some really hard topics, too. And, but it was good, like, rational conflict. It was constructive. Like everything we talked about, it was super good. Well, I hope it was. I mean, he hasn't texted. Well, he texted me today, so we're good.
So about this weekend.
So I think someone else wanted to sponsor me, so I'm gonna drop the. No, it was really good. I mean, it was good to get to learn, you know, get to know a team member, a friend. You know, it was it was really good to sit and you know, when you've never spent more than maybe a couple of hours with somebody, and then you sit in a car for 19 hours. You know, So, bless his heart, I guess. That's the best way to say it.
Right.
He put up with me. I didn't have gas, though. No gas.
Oh.
It was weird.
Pleasant.
I think I farted once, maybe, but we were outside, so we kind of felt bad. And I wasn't holding anything in it. I just didn't have it. So, so that was my trip to Ohio.
Fun.
Yep. So I bought the world's largest mystery box, and it's going to start going up on the website here pretty soon. And I'm going to try to get the most desirable stuff up first.
Sure.
And then slowly trickle everything in. But over the next probably 3 to 4 weeks, you'll start seeing all that stuff populated on the website. So
cool.
Yeah. So it almost doubles our inventory.
Wow.
That's how many discs there are.
You're going to need a bigger store.
I know. So.
Or, hey, we're just going to have to kick you out upstairs. Cam. Sorry, Cam.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, we won't kick Cam out.
My garage can't house all this stuff for that long.
I know. So much for some parking in. I haven't parked in my garage. The very first winter was the only winter I ever parked in my garage.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it sucks. So, let's get to the mystery boxes.
Okay.
So, Clash released their mystery box at $139.
Well, Friday it's coming out.
Oh, Friday, yeah, we'll be releasing. It will be at $139.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the sneak peek last episode of exactly what was in the box. My question is, $139.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a smart price point?
Seems steep.
Yeah. Because it seems like their method, not as quite as strong as Lone Star's, but it seems like their method is let's get some discs in hands, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Does that go along with that price point?
Man. Okay, so funny thing is, never actually paid for a disc from Clash.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't yet?
Like I haven't bought a disc of theirs.
Okay.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I bought the
right?
honeys. I bought the wild honeys. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. And those were $20.99, something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Which Discraft is there. Like, all the PM line is $19.
Sure.
So.
Obviously, there's the 2 new glow discs, which you get one of.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a price point for that.
Mm-hmm.
This is prototype, new plastic for them. There's the new soft plastic that's coming out. I think there's another plastic beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what a fair price would be for those discs. Maybe the glow discs like 25-ish.
Yeah, well, so let's compare them to Lone Star is $22.99.
Yeah.
Castaplast, they're all in that realm.
Yeah, I think most discs are around there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how many discs are coming in the box. If it's like 7 to 10. 9, okay.
So it's supposed to be 8, and then there's that mystery second one that...
Oh.
But I think they call the mini and the marker, the mini and the tiny.
Yeah.
I think they consider them discs. So I think you technically get 7.
Sure.
And then 2, a marker and a tiny.
Because, I was just doing comparison before, and so with Disc Mania, it's $100, and they say you get 150% value. And obviously, there's some double stamp P2s in there. They're so I think that's a fair for 9 discs. You get a pin, candy.
Yeah. You get a Jolly Rancher, a pin.
Oh, it's not a Jolly Rancher. It's candy in a little bag.
Oh, really?
I haven't tasted it yet.
They haven't done Jolly Ranchers? What's up?
Yeah, I ordered something another time and I didn't get a Jolly Rancher in my box. And it's kind of
weak sauce.
Yeah.
Weak sauce.
I still have a lot of them sticking around in some boxes. And then, anyway.
It's like the bubble gum in the baseball cards back in the day.
Super stale.
Uh-huh.
And then, so I was also looking at the Gyropalooza box, and you get 14 discs in that. So you get the 2 new glow prototype discs, but then you get 12 lab second discs.
Right.
For $150.
Yep.
So, the lab second discs aren't, there's a mix between Electron and, there's a good mix of plastic in there.
It's premium and it's,
and for 14 discs, I think that's fair enough value. Maybe not so much on some of the base plastic, but I don't know, it'd be interesting to see. I want to get one, and I'm like, well, it's still kind of high. Have Christmas gifts to think about and stuff. Ben's like, well, you could just turn around and sell off some of those discs, but it's I kind of just want those discs because
Right.
it's the first time you're getting those plastics.
Right.
I'm like, I can't, I don't know.
So, yeah.
It's not like the Discmania boxes where it's like, okay, I'm going to sell off this disc.
Two of them.
Yeah, or something,
Yeah.
whatever.
Here's my thought on it. So we look at the other ones, and the other ones are all a combination of, hey, you get a couple nice ones, but for the most part, we're clearing our shelves, right?
Well, Discmania did say that they were making quite a few like special edition discs for this box. Like there's new Super Soft Tactics. There's the S line MD1s. There's special MD3s. Like there's a black MD3 and a clear MD3 with like mystery box stamp. There's a bunch of different stamps. They had actually a sheet in the box with like the rarity of all the discs that were being made.
Okay.
So obviously a lot of the X out stuff is like older run that got like double stamped and stuff. And then it's like, here's like the new Color Glow FD3, which was like this most rare Vapor Enigmas. Like that was the next rare disc,
Yeah.
a bunch of them. But yeah, so I don't know. Like some of the stuff is probably stuff that's just sitting on the shelves and they're like, here's a cool stamp, let's put it on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you opened yours, right?
Yeah, I did.
And I mean, did you feel that most of it was thought put into it, or was it kind of half and half?
So like my box, I got the Enigma. I got the new S line MD1. So that was cool to get. One of the other boxes, I got the MD3. I got another S line MD1. So I didn't get the Color Glow FD3. That's what I really want. Okay. I might trade with Scott Halverson. He offered up. He got a Color Glow. Okay. So he's like, I'll take the Enigma off your hands if you want to trade.
Oh,
so
nice.
I was like, okay, I'll think about it.
Speaking of Enigmas, we got a ton of those in that.
Oh, really?
In that haul, a ton. Okay, but anyway.
Cool. So, yeah, I don't know. So they did try to do something a little special, but it seemed like everybody's like kind of got the same stuff. Like everybody got one of the Taylors.
Oh yeah, yep.
So
I saw
that was
MVP for a fact is all factory seconds, basically, except for two discs.
Except for two discs, yeah.
So that's something, and then the other one. Who's the other one that came out? Was the so it was Casaplast? Yeah, who?
I had Discmania MVP Clash. There might be other people that have them. I don't really know who else.
Who else had the mystery box? Well, Foundation's doing mystery boxes, but those are just like assortment of discs.
Yeah,
there's not a manufacturer. Like Latitude hasn't released one yet.
No, Latitude. You were talking about Latitude having a mystery box, but they didn't share like what was in it. They're like, it's a true mystery, like as to what you're gonna get.
That's right. But I didn't see.
I haven't heard anything about it recently.
Neither have I, because they had that 10th anniversary one, but they told you exactly what was in it. So I guess my thought on the Clash one is, I think bang for your buck. I think that's, and this is gonna sound like I'm promoting it because we have a friend that. This is completely non-biased as I can be. I think the Clash one is worth the money simply because they're discs made specifically for it. They're all basically premium, all special plastic, special blends. They're all different. So it's kind of the idea of what Ledgestone used to be with their releases. Like, sure, they might be the same mold, but there's something different about each one of these discs that you could only get through Ledgestone.
Yeah.
I think that has waned a little bit with Ledgestone, but I think they're bringing it back with Clash.
Okay.
Well, not they are, but Clash is doing that same idea where these are premium discs. They're not leftover sitting on a shelf that, we need to move some of these things. So let's throw a special stamp on them and put them out. That's not the case with these. And there's quite a few first runs. This is the very first one they're doing. So I think for this year, I think
you get the spice.
And you get the spice, yeah. And this is the first time you're going to be able to see it. And, this is the disc designed by Eric Oakley, which just still seems... it just still, like... Can you say that he's not going to be a bigger part of Clash?
Right, that's...
At this point. But nevertheless, I guess... I digress until we're finished with the the conversation about the mystery boxes. I still feel like bang for your buck, that's going to be the best one.
I think you...
And for resale value. I think so. Probably end up being something where that market will be there, because if that's the first time and only time they're going to release certain ones of these, that's going to be great.
And there's only 550 boxes made.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
That's it. So first come, first serve.
So the rarity on that is even better.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So I didn't know about the 550.
Yeah, that's kind of an odd number. I don't know why that would be.
It's probably all they could get to the U.S. is what
true.
it was.
That very well could be.
Or is this 550 worldwide?
Yeah. I don't know. That's when I read the description, it just said 550 were made.
Dang. I'm going to send a text real quick and see if I can get the answer while we're on the air.
Yeah.
But 550, let's see if it's worldwide or U.S. Yeah, so like I said, I think Clash is going to be a good one if you can get one at this point.
Yeah. It's kind of, well, I think too, value-wise, like we were saying, like how price per disc figured out, like, well, down the road, I'm sure they'll be releasing the globe plastic everything, and we'll be like, okay, yes, that was a good value based upon what came in the box and what we see it, the price point being later down the road.
Right. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Discmania is always a favorite. Like they always release something good, and it is Discmania. MVP, obviously, they always have their great glow discs that they're bringing out, and they have that Envy in there. So,
yeah,
I think there's obviously good buys, and I think it's what it is. But if you want something new, fun, and exciting, Clash is going to be your choice, And obviously Lat 64, but I don't know where you buy them. There's nothing out there. I saw the one commercial that says it's a mystery. It's so much of a mystery that I'm not saying anything about it. That was all I said. That was all I saw.
Certain like clues on the website, like if you press here and then you scroll down to here, and like
exactly
treasure map somewhere, like it's the Goonies.
Like the back in the day when you used to have to chase things around the screen, those little viruses or worms or whatever they were called, that you would like have to chase something around the screen, and you finally end up just like Control Alt Delete. Let's start this over.
Yeah, exactly.
Task Manager. So Clash box at $145, which is after shipping and everything, because I think Grip USA is selling for $145 free shipping.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think it's worth it. So. All right, Supra. Is it the mid-range? I have the Supra, and I played with it at Idlewild. So all I had was the 2 Graces, a Supra, a Comet, an EMAC Truth, and my Judges. That's all I had there. And 2,300 discs in the van.
Let's just open up some of these bad boys and see how they fly.
I should have.
Right?
It was stupid. I was like, I just spent, X amount on these discs, and then I go to a disc off shop and buy 2 more.
But you're like, but it's everything. All those discs,
exactly.
Like a lot of them. You're like, there's new stuff, right?
Just stupid. But anyway, so the Supra, I threw it on the. I threw it. I don't remember what tee I threw it on, but I threw it flat. And I threw it pretty hard because it was kind of a downhill sloped. I think it was hole 1.
Okay.
And it was just funsies. Like, I'm just going to throw it out there. And it was nose up and slightly on hyzer. And it it had a really good glide. I'm not going to say Comet glide.
Okay.
Probably EMAC-ish glide.
I mean, the numbers on it are 5501. From what I saw.
Okay. And that sounds about right. I mean, I would probably give it exactly that. It did not leave the line I put it on.
So super straight.
Super straight.
Supra straight.
Supra straight. See what he did there. But amazingly straight. I'm not a Gibson fanboy. I'm not trying to push these things because I really like the era as well. Man, this disc is phenomenal. So, and then I threw it about 3 more times. On the long hole, I think it's like 16 or 17 16 on Idlewild for the Pro Tour layout. It's that big bomber, 900 feet, and it's downhill at the end, ends in the woods, on the.
Okay.
So I threw my drive, and it was where Eagle lands, after I threw it twice. And then so from where that bush where Eagle landed, it puts you 350, 360.
Sure.
But it's slightly downhill. And I threw I had my Supreme Escape. I threw the Supreme Escape and put it out to the left and let it turn over, and I was way long of it. I mean, I hit super high up into the trees, and so I was way long of it. And then, or it would have been way long of it if I didn't hit the trees and I dropped. And then Kelly was like, man, grab that new disc and throw it. And I was like, all right. So I threw it like rope. I was like 6 feet away from it.
Oh, wow.
Like I hit the bank right behind it. So I hit like the green. It's like a turfed green. I hit the green and it bounced up and hit the bank right behind it and sat like I said, like 6-10 feet, somewhere around in there. But that flight, I threw it on a slight Annie outside because I was kind of tucked behind that bush.
Okay.
I threw it on a slight Annie outside and it just slowly worked over. Like it wasn't a dump. It was just like this slow work. Never came out of it, never flattened out and hit the green and just, it was a really, I mean, it had the flight of a comet with the rim of a mutant.
Interesting. That is so interesting.
It is this weird disc, but it is a phenomenal disc.
Okay.
Like for arms like ours,
yeah.
I think it's going to be a great disc. I mean, possibly even for Drew's, obviously, if he designed it. But it is a great woods disc. Like I would feel confident taking that out right now and throwing it as my main mid. Like I won't, but I would.
Okay.
You know, it flies that well. So I can't wait till it comes out in the composite. Because it's in forge as well. It's in that first line plastic. So it's a forge plastic.
Yeah, it's a launch plastic.
Yeah, launch. Yeah. So
interesting. Yeah, because they did just come out with like was it composite, which is like C-line champ plastic. Cool.
Yep. And I think the mystery is it is Prodigy plastic. I'm almost 99% sure it's Prodigy plastic.
I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah. Because the embossing is basically the same as Prodigy's, and the plastic feels are about the same as the good Prodigy plastic. So, so I like it, and I would recommend going out there and trying to grab one. We don't have any in the shop, but hopefully I can get some. But they're great discs.
There's a number of places out there that have them.
Yeah. They're easy to find.
Yeah.
I mean, just jump on Infinite, and they have plenty of them.
Yeah, there's still quite a few.
Yeah. I'm surprised it doesn't get the traction it does because it is a really, really good disc.
What color do you have?
I have the blue.
Okay, yeah. I saw some yellows.
Blue or like gray. It's like an orangish color. It's like the top of your
Gatorade bottle?
Muted. Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So kind of like Lost in the fall.
Yeah.
That color.
I could see that.
Yeah, but a really good disc. So, all right. Should we move on to the Nikko tracker?
Sure.
I'm so tired of talking about him, but
Nikko tracker.
Yeah. So Nikko tracker, here it is. So the PDGA let out its rules updates for 2023, and Nikko decided to kind of go out there and say, finally, one of the first pros that actually stepped up and said something.
Yeah.
I doesn't surprise me it's him that says it. And do I agree with him or not agree with him? I don't know. I don't know.
Sure.
I think he gets a lot of hate because it's Nikko. But this is what he said. Quoted, "Are we still going to allow men to compete against women in our association? I can't really bite my lip on this subject any longer. This is unfair to natural-born women who sacrifice a lot to be a part of this tour." That's it.
# make changes, not excuses.
Right. So that's it. There are 378 likes and hearts on that post.
Oh, wow.
On just his.
Yeah.
Just his. So, which is surprising to me. That's a lot.
That's quite a few, yeah.
Yeah, especially for the PGA. And a comment under the post that the PGA made. So that's a comment of the post, not the post itself. So for me, I look at it, he is getting a now, I am not defending Nikko. I just want to say this right now. Because I don't think he needs to be defended in this, second of all. Because I don't think he said anything wrong. He had made an opinion out there, and he's not bashing anybody. This is not transphobic speak. There's nothing. There's nothing mean. This is not hate speech. Like, there is nothing wrong with what he said. What he did is, in his opinion, he asked if biological males. Now, he didn't say biological. He just said men capitalized. Right, yeah. So we're going to read into that. That's fine. You can read into that. It is what it is, But biological males, or capitalized men, to compete against women. That's all. And that's it. It was just a question mark. Are we going to allow them to compete against women in the association? That's it. And he said he just can't bite his tongue on this anymore.
Fair question.
I think it is a fair question. I mean, it's a question that happens in every sport, and there's no harm in having the question asked. Where the harm comes is ignoring it. I'll go back to that. It's the PDJ's fault. They need to do something. And they don't need to make a choice. They just need to make a stance or even say, hey, we're looking into this. Yeah. Hey, we're doing this and that. They gave Natalie Ryan and a couple other transgenders a podium to speak at their summit. Fantastic. That's great. What did they do with all that information? What did they do with those? Great. They're giving them an avenue to speak. Mm-hmm. It's on deaf ears.
Right.
From the way that I look at it. Because they're not doing anything.
No.
They're not making a choice. They're not even saying, hey, we're looking into this. Give us more time. They're not saying anything. So it is what it is. Am I gaslighting again?
I don't know. Let us know.
Yeah. Hit us up if we are. I just truly feel that Nikko LaCastro is abrasive.
Do you think people like the comment because he asked the question, or are they just assuming that Nikko feels this way, that it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like I could see him being like openly accepting of people, but at the same time, it is a question that has to be asked. So I think, someone has to ask it, and he just was like, "Well, I volunteer as tribute. I'm going to ask it." Like exactly. That kind of situation, like because nobody else is really Austin hand up.
I mean, he's not the only. He's not the only one that has said something. I mean, we talked about the post recently for the biological female that said something that was an FPO player. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
No, not a notable player. Not a name that anybody knew.
No.
So it didn't get any traction.
But there was some people that liked it.
Right. And I went back because I saw it when it happened. I saw it like really, really soon after it happened. And I was scrolling through everything. And you had both like the Amen brother. You didn't have a lot of dissension to what he said. Mm-hmm. What you had was are you speaking on behalf of Kat? Those type of things. Like, okay. Who are you to say this?
He's just speaking for himself.
Exactly.
Even though he doesn't compete against, he's not in that division competing. It's like, well, what is your stance? Like, right. You have to do something.
Yeah, and that's it. So, there's been plenty of stuff that I don't know if I would necessarily agree with what Nikko has done. Mm-hmm. And I think we've been very, very apparent about that. And I think, maybe or maybe not, that's why he won't jump on the podcast. But either way, I don't fault him for what he said here, or what he typed here. Yeah. I think he maybe could have been a little gentler for the sake of individuals that are looking for reasons to be pissed off. He could have been a little gentler in his word choices.
True.
But, it is what it is. You can read into anything. So if you read into him just capitalizing men as disrespectful and transphobic and all that stuff, yeah, I guess you can read into that. But is it fair? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. Have we gotten to a point where we can't express our opinions because it might hurt someone's feelings?
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Exactly. And for that, I stick up for Nikko.
Okay.
For that reason alone, just for the fact that he can say what he wants to say. Just because it hurts your feelings doesn't mean you got cancer now. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. I know what you're saying. Like, you can take offense to it and be offended. It's like when someone tells you, no offense, but, and then all of a sudden you're
They're
offended.
About to say, yeah.
And then it's like, well, I said this, but you're the one getting offended by it. It's
exactly.
Like, so that's on you.
Yeah. But the funny part about that is when someone says no offense, you're about to hear the most offensive thing you can possibly hear. But even still, there's no magic potion with offensive words that makes it worse than any other word, if that makes any sense. Yes. So I don't get slammed here. There are a certain set of words that are harmful. This wasn't part of it. So we'll get back to disc golf. Like, this just wasn't part of it. I mean, maybe, but maybe you need to point at yourself and think about you if you're offended by this.
How's it go? Like for every point finger you point, there's 3 pointing back
Yep.
at you or whatever. Yeah.
I used to use that with my staff a lot. Like, remember, when you point the finger at someone else, there's 3 more pointing right back at you.
Right.
It's like, so, it's like take the plank out of your own eye. You want to take it biblical. And there's all kinds of different, phrases. Any sect of life has one of those things. Like, take a look at yourself before you start calling someone else out. Like, we can do so much work on our own bodies and our own minds before we start trying to fix someone else's. Like, man, focus on yourself. And I think generationally, there is, not generationally, just within society, there's this overwhelming majority that doesn't say a word because they're trying to make their lives better and they could care less on what's going on around them. And then there's this really vocal minority that has neglected their life because they're so invested in other people's, and it's sad. It's sad. And I think we all get to that point, just depending on the topic,
Yeah.
So, all right.
Or getting wrapped up in celebrity lives or, stuff like that.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Like so wrapped up in sports or so wrapped up in we all do it. We all have our avenues that we get wrapped up in. And so I don't fault anybody for being offended, but you also have to check yourself. Like, there's no reason to be offended for this.
Sure.
He's asking a question for clarification because it is definitely a hot topic that's on mind, so much so that the PDGA granted a forum for transgender athletes to speak. Right?
Yeah.
So, I'm probably wrong. Who knows? But at this point, I guess that's just how I feel.
Feelings.
Feelings are special. So with that, we'll close the Nikko tracker. I'm excited to open up the Santa tracker. It's going to be so much better than Nikko trackers. So, all right. So player speculation, we'll get back to it. So we'll kind of track what has gone on. So Kyle Klein, 4 years. Calvin Heimberg, 5 years. Nikko, multi-year. Alden Harris has an extension with Prodigy. Chandler Kramer, extension with Lone Star. And then Supreme Team, Macie Velediaz, has an extension for one more year.
Today.
Yep. So she got a promotion to the Supreme Team. And the Supreme Team is a new team that started last year.
Right. It's just
right below the world champions, right?
Yeah.
So, and there is one more. Supreme Team, so Macie Velediaz. And then right after we ended the podcast the next morning, Thursday morning, Paige Shue says, peace. Gives deuces to Dynamic Discs.
Did we not? I thought we mentioned that towards the end of the podcast last week. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe
but I
we
do
did.
want to talk
Maybe we
about it a
didn't.
little bit,
Yeah.
Because it's interesting.
The speculation on that, I have so much.
Oh, yeah.
So
same.
I'll say what I saw and get your reaction on it. I've been throwing out some ridiculous ideas just for funsies to see what people would think. But there's 2. There's one that is so is another round starting a team. Like Infinite, because
I know what you're saying, because they sponsor Sarah Hokum, I think, is what I've heard.
And there's quite a few that they have.
Yeah.
It's
like Yuli's kind of like hangs with them and that whole Charlotte area.
And she's down there.
Yep.
And they were the ones that she tagged as credit for filming and doing all that stuff.
Ah, okay. So, well, yeah, because when she made the video, she had a nice mic and the headphones and it was shot very nice. I was like, where'd she get all this stuff?
Yeah. And
I know she works for the Saki Bomb, does stuff for Saki Bomb too. So I was like, maybe she just asked to borrow equipment or something. But
I think you and I it was you, me, and Ben or whoever it was. We're going back and forth in text. And I think with what I joked around was I was like, oh, she's going full time. That was before I saw the video.
Right.
She's going full time with the foundation. She's leaving disc golf. And then I saw the video and I'm like, zero chance. There's zero chance she's leaving disc golf. She wants to get back into competing.
Right. Exactly.
And my other speculation is Discraft.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
I mean, I was thinking Prodigy. They need a PO player.
They need one so bad. They need. Yeah.
I mean,
they need a lot.
The only female I can think of is I think there's a couple not really obviously Heather Young. She's still with Prodigy, but not
not really.
But not really. And then there's
they had an
Lucky.
interview. Who was it that did the interview with her? That she's not coming back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, go ahead.
And then there's numerous European players that are Prodigy that come over FPO, but no one notable, no notable US.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah.
Oh, wait, breaking news. Da-na-na, da-na. And was that, can we get fined for that? 550 is all they made worldwide.
Okay.
Perfect.
Wow. For Clash docs.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay. So, interesting enough. So, so Paige, last Thursday, this happened, or Wednesday, whenever it is. Today, Macie Velediaz gets bumped up to Supreme Team. Mm-hmm. They still have to go after. They still have tentatively to sign Holland Hanley, Valerie, Mason Ford, potentially. Just like the timing,
and they still got to drop Kona. Oh man. Okay. I wish her the best next year. Yeah. I really do. I hope it turns.
She has
around.
a comeback. Yeah. But so obviously, like Paige is on that championship level team. It's like her, Ricky McCabe, and Ron Converse Jr. Paige's dad, Doug, president of DD. Obviously,
didn't he step down? No, that was TD of he stepped down from TD of Glassblow.
Yeah.
Or from DDO. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Doug's head of DD. Paige is talking about maybe coming back. What do you think the conversation like? You know, like obviously there's the father-daughter aspect of like, Dad, I'm thinking about going back out. And he's like, Paige, I support you in this. Unfortunately, DD maybe can't support you in this.
Right.
And like, obviously that haven't heard that, but if they're really looking to hold on to Valerie and like these other people and like, we can't support you in the way that we supported you going forward.
Or we can continue to support you the way we're supporting you, but it's not going to be close to what you want.
Sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, so part of me just thought about that after hearing about this today. It's like, yeah, like family ties, like obviously we never, I wasn't sure of like Kona, you know, like leaving Innova with like her dad in the company and brother. Obviously like Paige has worked, you know, worked for DD for a long time.
All aspects.
Right.
Store, she's packed orders, she's done stores, she's done tournaments, she's done, like 14 years old or something like that, right?
Yeah, 13 years old, 14. She won the junior worlds and then went on to win. Yeah. And so it's crazy, but
it doesn't seem like there's any ill will there at all. No. Zero.
And that's the other thing is that I was wondering too. It's like if they had this conversation, they're like, okay, you like make this video, and then they come out like hours later with their own video saying thank you. So I'm curious if it's just like couldn't come to like an agreement, or she's just very adamant about leaving based on like location, what she's got going on and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's all very. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of behind-the-scenes things.
Oh, I'm sure. And we'll never know the full story.
Yeah.
I would assume what happened is that she's a world champion, and she wants to be compensated as such. Sure. And DD politely said, I'm sorry, we don't think you're worth... And I'm being very, like, straight to it. I'm sure this isn't how the conversation happened. I'm just being very Cliff Notes and or Spark Notes, whatever one you used. It was basically... Sorry, you're not worth it. We'd rather spend that money somewhere else. Or we have way too much money tied up already. And we're already planning on and working on. And so this is what we can offer you. She's like, not good enough because I got an offer from. And I think that's probably what happened.
I mean, even though like 4 years removed from her world championship.
Well, and basically 2 years off.
Yeah.
Well, 2.5 years off, you know, I mean. Yeah, so, but the good thing. She is going to be she's going to be like
she's extremely marketable.
She's a penny stock right now. Yeah. Like, I mean, not as in she's cheap, like a bad player,
but
she's cheap.
Buy low and then sell high.
Yeah. And she's going to make a difference on someone's team. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see who it is because she said more stuff's coming out, and then it's been like radio silence for like a week. Yeah. So I was hoping more stuff would come out quick, but
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting. Like I like the Discraft idea. I think Prodigy with like no FPO. That's the way to go. Like the another round thing, like an open bag where she can just be like have the shop sponsorship. That seems really appealing as well.
Yeah.
Where maybe she tests that out for a year, like open bag, finds out what she really likes, and then like someone approaches her after that. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's another.
And we've had some behind the scenes conversations. So we've confirmed a couple manufacturers that she's not going to.
Yeah.
I shared that with you, right? Okay, I'll share it with you afterwards. But we've confirmed a couple manufacturers she's not going to, but I don't have connections at all. Manufacturers, of course, So I know of a few that she's for sure not going to, but there are quite a few. Like, I would love to see her at Clash. Mm-hmm. I think she'd be a great pickup for Clash. I'd love to see her at Lone Star.
Yeah.
I think they would be they are in desperate need of a name for FPO, a name in FPO. MVP could use her too.
True.
As much as I hate to say it, DGA could use her as well. I mean, they have Katrina Allen, but like, seriously? Like, she's not great social media wise. She's known for her play and only her play. So she's kind of like Paul Macbeth, but a little less likable. And that's not like, she's probably an absolutely fantastic person. Like, it truly is probably the most awesome person to hang out with. But her competitive side is like all go. She's a super competitive person. And that translates to she's not that fun, bubbly personality.
I don't know. Like, I hear stories of her hanging out with, her and Ricky are close friends.
Sure.
And then I'm sure there's a lot of stories of you seeing a different side of her, but we just don't see that because we don't see it on social media or anywhere else.
Well, that's it. Yeah. So I believe that 100%. Yeah. Like, and I've even seen her around some of the tour stops and stuff like that. And she's, awesome. Like, she's super bubbly. She talks to people. She's always that way. It just doesn't come across on camera. So that's what I'm saying. Marketability. We talk about social media being part of, like, a huge part of why players go where they go. I feel like someone like that would be good on DGA. But ultimately, I truly and honestly think Discraft is where she's going to land.
Interesting.
But, man, they are so heavy on FPO.
Yeah.
But, heck, if they can pull in world champions, like, how many world championships do they have under their belts if they pull in Paige Shue as well? It's only one more, but think about how many world champions they have. Do they have the budget for it?
Well, maybe some people leave.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is possible.
It is possible. I think this... So, obviously we're coming up on, a year. Mm-hmm. And, we hit it, we came out at the right time because, all of a sudden, we came out and, tons of news, December, January.
Yeah.
It just seems like we're having to wait just a little bit longer. People are still competing, have things going on, bit of an off season. And then all of a sudden it's yes, stuff's going to happen, within a couple of weeks, right before, last year. So, and probably not as big, as what we saw last year, but there will be things going on.
I think we'll see some big moves. Paige Shue is a pretty big move. Because you would never expect. It was kind of like the Kona thing. You would never expect her to do that. But, what's the idea that Ben thinks it's Franklin? Franklin's going to sign their first pro player. No, I would really like to see her go. It wouldn't offend me to see her on Prodigy. Prodigy desperately needs a top-tier FPO player. Really every team but Discraft and Innova needs a high-profile, player.
Yeah.
Because MVP, they got Hokum, but she's in Masters age.
Yeah.
So slowly I bet you she'll start to transition out. Mm-hmm. And Discraft or DGA has Katrina, but we already chatted about that a little bit. We already spoke about it. So, they could use a more bubbly, airy personality there. Mm-hmm. Who else are there, the big ones? Lat 64, West Side. Maybe she's making a lateral move that way, which would be weird. This whole hubbub, I feel like it would fall flat.
I think so too.
I feel like she might even piss some people off by doing this whole thing. But she's either going to a manufacturer sponsor because Eric Oakley, kind of did that whole thing. So either she's going to another round and another round's about to announce that they're starting a pro team, or she's going to Discraft. I just don't see another place. Prodigy, man, they are such a mess right now that they need to figure something out before they start bringing on people.
True.
And I would hope that Paige would see that after seeing her dad control a company for so many years.
Yeah, but I mean, Podgy's definitely locked up all their young talent for now. So it'll be interesting. I mean, well, you talked about Innova too. Haley King, like she had a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
what's going to happen with that?
Yeah,
because she wasn't, dealing with injury or whatever she's dealing with. Only saw her on a couple tour stops. Who knows?
And she made an explosion while she was there, but man, she didn't show up to any of them.
And she's down in the Charlotte area, I think, as well.
I think so.
Yeah.
So, and that's where I'm vacationing this winter. So,
well,
I'm going down there. So I might run into some of these guys.
You never know.
That would be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty awesome.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I mean, I don't know where she's going. My speculation is one of those two. She's doing a manufacturer. She's going to be Discraft or a shop sponsor.
I wonder if she's going to go the route of like Emerson Keith and get like a huge RV and bring the whole family with like the baby and Grady.
Yeah,
taking along.
If Grady's going to pick on like if he's going to start throwing again or not.
Yeah,
or if he's just done.
I don't know. That's interesting because I don't know what he does outside. Like now that they've like kind of transitioned, I have no idea what he does. Like
maybe he's Mr. Mom. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Because she was still working with DD in the foundation. So, well, was she working with DD?
It's tough to say.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah. So I hope wherever she lands well. I mean, I've always been a huge fan of her.
Yeah,
and she throws judges, but that's the thing.
Anymore.
Like, maybe if she goes to another round.
True. Yeah, that could happen.
Still throws judges. I'm disappointed to see that her judges won't be there.
Yeah,
anymore.
but she won't have a signature. That's another weird thing. We talked about like Eric Oakley leaving, and he always loved felons, and it's like
then he just abandons them.
Right. Like you had a signature felon, you could have like still maybe had something with them.
Yep.
But
I think we speculated that they were still going to continue to. Nope. So, so that's that. So good luck to Macie Velediaz on her Supreme Team jump, and then. Let's see where Paige Shue goes.
Yeah.
No. All right. World champion Paige Shue. All right. Best Christmas movie runner-up ever. The reason why I say runner-up, because Die Hard is obviously the best Christmas movie. So we'll move on.
Okay. You have not seen have you seen the latest? There was a TikTok that came out of Bruce Willis.
I don't use TikTok.
Okay. So Bruce, I don't know why this popped up. It's probably because it's Christmas time. Bruce Willis came out and said, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
I know his opinion's invalid.
It's a Bruce Willis movie, is what he said. He's like, it's not a Christmas movie.
So he's trying to make himself bigger than Christmas? Seriously?
I don't know. That's what he said. He's like, it's not a Christmas movie. It's MF and Bruce Willis action flick. And everyone's like, yeah, okay. Well,
it's a Christmas movie.
All right.
There is definitely Christmas trees and decorations and a Christmas party.
Yeah.
That's a Christmas movie.
I'm going to say Home Alone.
That's the original.
The original Home Alone.
Okay.
There's another one that I would put close, and that's Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. But I think if I watch a Christmas movie, like I will sit down and watch Home Alone like during Christmas. Then there's like The Grinch and a couple other movies like that. Somebody else, funny enough, tried to make the comparison that Home Alone and Die Hard are the exact same movie, just one's with kids, and that nobody dies in Home Alone.
I don't know if you could argue against it.
Right?
I mean, seriously. Like, Bruce Willis is running around with no shirt, no shoes, like breaking stuff and using all this stuff to kill people. And Kevin's doing the same thing.
Just with the shirt on and a BB gun.
Yeah, exactly. John McClane. Yeah. So there's two. I will go with the runner-up is, without a doubt, Christmas Story. You'll shoot your eye out.
I've seen that, and I don't know why, but I'm just like, I'm not a fan.
Yeah. I hear that. I think it's mixed.
Yeah.
I think some people love it. Some people are like, this is a horrible movie.
Sure.
I think it's a nostalgic thing for me.
Okay.
It's a familial thing. Like, it was my dad's favorite movie, so we watched it. And it's not like we were this like wholesome family that sat down and watched Christmas movies. That's not the case.
Not like the 24-hour Christmas story like on TNT running.
Yeah, no
kind of thing. Okay.
It was just, and it appealed to me because it was like, I mean, it's not the fun-loving, happy Christmas story. I mean, It is because he gets his BB gun.
Yeah.
But then he shoots his eye out. Like he doesn't really
gets
shoot
the
his
tongue
eye out.
stuck to the. Oh no, it wasn't him. It was
his brother.
Yeah,
no, that was his friend.
Yeah.
So where is he? And then like they all look outside. Oh my goodness. There's a lot of it. I mean, it's fun because it's ridiculous and it's not too far off what the a 60s family.
True.
Like all these little nuances and like the plastic lamp leg, leg lamp that sits in the window and the mom is super embarrassed by it. Like all of these things, So it's just these weird, goofy things that, they're just fun, enjoyable. Like you can see your dad or your grandpa or something like that, relating with them. But the next best one is Violent Night. The new movie that came out about Santa Claus.
Is that out now?
Yes.
Did you see it?
No. I've just seen the previews.
Yeah.
It's already number 3.
Yeah.
No, I just want to point out that movie that I'm going to see it. I am super excited about it. Like
so I heard like a spoiler-free review of it the other day, and like if you go in like expect a really good time, just don't expect like tremendous acting and like I mean
absolutely,
but it looks fun.
Yeah,
and like just kind of over the top ridiculous. Like the idea of Santa like busting up like terrorists or whatever they are. It's
like Team America. You remember that?
Yeah,
the animated like it's just. It's not a movie that you're gonna like. It's not gonna be critically acclaimed.
Right.
Acclaimed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be like I really enjoyed that movie. I mean, it's like what's the movie with the 3 potheads? It's like Dave Chappelle and
Half Baked.
It's like Half Baked. Like
it
is an amazing movie. It wasn't critically acclaimed,
but it's hilarious.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it is one that I enjoy thoroughly every time I watch it.
Too, absolutely.
Like Pineapple Express, like
yes,
Neighbors, like I mean all those movies that they're just ridiculous movies, but they're hilarious.
Yes,
I mean, like Jordan would probably say, White Chicks.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely
ridiculous movie, but hilarious. Who's the Zoolander? Like the original Zoolander 2 sucks. The original Zoolander, awesome. So 3 grown men in their late 30s when that came out went and watched it together. It was a mistake. The best part of it was like the nachos I ate.
Okay.
It was all of us walked out like, was the first one that dumb or was it this one just horrible? Like, because I really enjoyed the first one.
Oh, the second one.
Yeah, the second one.
I haven't watched it the whole way through. Like I can't make. I don't think I made it
so
through
bad.
it. Yeah.
So bad.
Anchorman was kind of no. Anchorman's not like terrible like that. I did make it through the second Anchorman, but it's just like years like away from like what you would consider like how great Anchorman is.
Yes.
It's like just trying hard and things fall flat a little bit. And
the biggest flop of a sequel that I've ever, well, not ever, but as far as comedy goes, that I was looking forward to when they announced it, I was like, this is going to be. There's nothing better than what's going to happen next. It's the Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
I was so mad about that. Same actors, everything. It was horrible. I thought it was anyways.
Oh, wait.
Or is it Dumb and Dumber 2?
Yeah, I forgot how that worked. Because, like, there's, like, the Harry and Lloyd, like, them growing up. Do you remember, like, right after Dumb and Dumber, and then maybe it's Dumber and... I don't remember the sequence. But it was like the 2 of them growing up, and then they brought back Jim Carrey and
right. That's
Jeff
the one
Daniels.
I was talking about, the Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels one, where they came back together. Oh, it was so bad.
Okay,
it was so bad.
What about The Hangover 2?
I never watched it.
Oh, you never?
Nah, I mean,
did you see the first? Did you see the original? Okay.
The original is hilarious.
The original is hilarious.
Hilarious.
And then they had to make the next two, and I was like, oh, are you kidding me?
Well, let's see. You got to beat that horse, man. Like, there was still a little bit of money coming out. And they're just like, get out.
Right. But you know what else I was going to bring up, too, though, is what do you think about the sequel that they're making for A Christmas Story?
I haven't heard about it.
It's
where they're kids, right? Or something like that?
Ralphie's all grown up.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the whole story or situation is going to be, but it's him when he's grown up.
I'm excited to see it. Like, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it turns out well. I don't know if is it out or?
I don't know if it's going to be I'm not sure if it's a Netflix movie or like an HBO movie. It's not coming to theaters. It's going to be like a direct streaming situation.
And who's Ralphie? That's not Adam Savage, is it? No, it can't be. No.
I don't know.
Yeah. But let's stay on the movie topic for a little bit. I really want to see the new Avatar.
I have no interest whatsoever.
Why? Did you like the first one?
No.
Oh, really? Okay.
No.
I really want to see the new Avatar.
I thought it was overhyped.
Oh, see, I really enjoyed it. I watched it quite a few times. Like a lot. There is such a divide in how long. I mean, was it 20 years almost, right?
It's really like 15 to 20. Yeah, something like that.
Like a long time.
And the budget for it, like I heard it has to make like $2 billion to break even. $2 billion.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
I mean, what's a record? Like 300 and some? I mean, that's still...
No. I mean, no. The record domestically is like $1 billion something.
Oh, domestically, really?
Yeah. Global, it's like it's.
But that's opening weekend.
And like half. Yeah. Huh?
That's opening weekend though.
Not $1 billion opening weekend. Like.
Oh, that's all time.
All time. It's like over $1 billion. Opening weekend's probably 300 and some million, or like 200 million or something like that. Depending on, like, it all depends on weekends too. Yeah. Like, there's always like, oh, this holiday weekend's like.
Because this is what's 21st is when it comes out.
16th
or
something like that. It's soon. Yeah.
There's not a lot of hype. Well, I don't watch regular TV, but
I've seen quite a few commercials. What did Dempsey and I go see recently? Wakanda Forever. They had a big trailer for it. They've been hyping it, but I don't know if they're hyping it enough. Like, how do you gain traction for a movie that was like that far along, like where people forget characters, plot, like what's going on?
Well, and some of the generation of people that watched it, like, they're like dying already. It's almost that long. It's not that far, but like, I mean, I watched it in college.
Yeah.
So kids that are in college now, they didn't watch it when they were that young.
Right.
Like,
yeah. But I heard like the animation's probably gonna be great.
Oh, I would believe so.
Yeah.
I heard some of the way they bring the characters back are a little bit goofy. Like the old Marine, they bring him back in like a mechanized suit.
Sure.
His consciousness is put into a... Like, I've heard some stuff like that. And I don't know if any is true. Obviously, I haven't seen it. So there's some weird ways that they bring it back. But
yeah,
either way, I'm excited to see it. I mean...
I heard it's going to be extremely long as well.
Well, the first one was as well.
Yeah.
Jeez. But for $2.6 billion that they need to make up, like... They better give their money's worth to people.
So the runtime's going to be... Someone I read said it was going to be like 5 hours. I was like, 5 hours?
Way.
No, it's going to be 3 hours and 12 minutes.
Okay, that sounds about right. That was about what the last one was.
Okay, and like that's been on par with like Avengers Infinity War and the Endgame. Like those movies have run longer. So yeah,
man, that's still long. 3 hours though. That's a long time.
Yeah,
it makes me like not want to go because
first
how much
Avatar
stuff I can do.
2 hours 41 minutes. So
it's about 30
half an
minutes
hour longer.
Yeah,
you know.
That is a long time though. It was a long time. So, all right. We watched Strange World as well. Stranger World, Strange.
Oh, is that a new Disney movie?
One? Yeah, new Disney one. It was okay. Like, we went with the kids and everything. Like, I understand that for our kids, this is just second nature. Like some of the suggestive stuff that they put in with relationships and things with Disney. I know it's like, it's not even a big deal to the kids, but I'm just like, why? Like, it doesn't do anything for the story. Like, even if it was heterosexual, like, I'm just like, what's the relationship have to do with anything? Like, this guy's lost out in the middle of nowhere in this weird world, and then they bring up that, like, I don't know.
That's kind of weird.
It is
strange. They did that with a couple other movies. Yeah.
It's forced in. And, like, it doesn't bother. Well, obviously it does because I'm talking about it, but like the content doesn't bother me. It's how they just like let's jam it in there. You know, like if it fit the story, whatever. Like, I mean, that's in everyday TV, everything that you watch, like every movie, every channel. But it's just like, it's weird. But the story itself it's interesting, and there's a little thing there, but I picked it up like 20 minutes in. I looked over at my wife and I said it. And and at the end of the movie, she like looked over him. She's like, "How did you know?" I was like, "I'm good." Like I picked it up immediately. It's pretty good though.
I haven't seen, I've seen a couple commercials here and there for it, but it doesn't seem to be getting like that much hype. For being a Disney,
weird.
I don't know.
The only hype it's getting is this whole like, why is there gay people in it? Like, shut up! Like, who cares? And that's the stuff I'm talking about. Like, because they do shoehorn it in, but it doesn't kill the movie. You know, it doesn't have any. Once again, it doesn't have anything to do with the movie. So why is it there? But in the same regard, like, it doesn't make it a bad movie. You know, but it was good. I mean, the animation is good. Like the you know, the Disney, like they always have the moral, you know,
right.
And they have like kind of I'm trying to think, like the environmental spin on it too. Like you got to take care of the environment. So they always put those agendas in there. But it was good. You know, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Like,
cool.
So if you want to take your kids to it, it's worth it. I think outside of that, we'll get back into the shop updates and then call it quits. Unless you have another movie you want to go over.
No.
It was a random movie tangent that we went over. All right. So the Supreme Judges will be coming in. So we should have them real soon. There's just everything's a little delayed. You know, everything takes a couple weeks to send out now. So, but they should be in. We don't have them in yet. And we'll have 2,300 other discs going up on the site over probably the next month or so. And jump on the website, doordisc.com, grab some gift cards now while you can get them. And then as the discs come up, just use them to buy. Yeah. You know, I think that's the best way to do it, huh?
Yeah.
So, but outside of that, the only other question I have is, what's going to be the first video that you're going to publicly release for OnlyFans?
I would even,
And are you going to be like the pay-per-view type OnlyFans, or are we going to be like all-inclusive?
No, all inclusive, probably.
Okay.
I'm not going to charge people per download or content or whatever.
Okay.
It'll just be like a monthly subscription thing.
Okay.
Or whatever it is.
However it works.
Yeah. You can tell I've thought a lot about it.
He's just not revealing how he runs his other OnlyFans.
Yeah. The other though. The lonely fans.
Yeah. So
that's what they should have really called it.
The Lonely Fans?
The Lonely Fans.
Agreed. Yeah. Because the reason why OnlyFans got so much traction was because of COVID. All these people sitting at home, like, diddling themselves, and they're like, well, let's turn on a camera. God, what a world we live in, huh?
Right.
But I do tell you, I'm glad it wasn't around when I was young. Not that that sounded weird to say that. I'm just going to not continue talking about that.
Fair enough.
How about that?
Yeah.
All right.
See, it gets us in more trouble than we should, actually.
It does, I know. But at least they'll have to pay for it. So, how about this? If you can remember the original name of JP's OnlyFans and you message it to us, I have a disc I will send to the person. It has to be the original name. Do you remember the original name?
I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I'll tell you as soon as we shut off the mics.
Well, I was going to say, too, we're close to 15,000 streams. We can almost do something else for that.
That's true. And we're only like 8 people away from 1,000 followers.
On Instagram. Oh, for the shop?
Yeah, for the shop.
Wow. Holy cow.
So we're really close to that as well. So,
and I was going to promote, like, next person that writes a review for us on Apple or something. I was going to send them out something possibly.
Well, and I have a disc too that we need to send out from my personal collection. Okay. So we just need to pick that, and then the person that sends out the original name of the OnlyFans from JP. I gave it to him. It was the very first time we mentioned it, so I don't remember what episode or anything. We have to go back and listen to him. Yeah. I can't remember which one it is. I remember the name. I know for sure. I remember the name.
I don't remember the name of I don't remember the podcast number or the name of what we called it.
Let us know. The only fan's name of JP's that I gave him. I gave it to him, and where the joke started. If you give that to us before the next episode airs, so that will be on, what's today? So the 9th.
Today's the 7th. Or this will come up the 9th. Yeah.
So then it'll be on the 9th, 10th, 16th. Right? Would be next Friday.
Yeah.
So on the 16th, it has to be in the either door_disc_golf or the night_owl_pod.
Or email it.
Or email it to us, which is throw@doordisc.com. So do one of those and send it to us, whatever the original OnlyFan was, and I will pick out a disc, and it'll be a valuable disc that you guys will like. It'll be worth it. So it's not going to be just some like Prodigy disc or something. We'll pick something.
We
something
bag
good
on
up.
them a lot.
I know it's their plastic is not that bad. No, they're fine. I got like 600 of them that we need to sell, so they're pretty good. They're really good. I mean, if you want a disc that is better than any other, let us know. So with all that said, peace.